A Florida woman tried to kiss some strangers at a bar and called 911 about the lack of social distancing, and protesters calling for gyms to reopen do squats and push-ups outside a Florida courthouse, and a Florida man dives into a Bass Pro Shop fish tank and posts the video on Facebook. These are the weird stories for Friday, and they're all from Florida, the most degenerate state in all of the country. It's Florida Fridays here on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian in lockdown, and the only daily weird news podcast that does Florida Fridays, the day you've been waiting for. So enjoy these weird stories from the state of Florida.
Those bizarre stories you hear about all the time that seem to only happen here in Florida.
I know, right?
Can't make this stuff up. It is just one of the many wacky news stories out of Florida.
Why does the Sunshine State consistently produce such strange news?
But what accounts for all this bizarre news? Is it the weather? Is it the people?
Florida is full of the crazy stories.
A Florida woman tries to kiss strangers while calling 911 about the lack of social distancing at the bar. A Florida lady kept trying to randomly kiss strangers at a local bar while at the same time repeatedly calling 911 and complaining about the bars not practicing coronavirus social distancing guidelines, according to the police. What is the name of this quality female Floridian citizen? Audra Adams, age 32. She called 911 a total of 5 times from a place called Monkey Bar and Grill in Indialantic, which is currently open, serving both food and drinks, as is allowed under Phase 1 of reopening Florida. Of course. Only in Florida will the Phase 1 of reopening include just allowing people to gather at bars in a crowd and try and make out with each other. During the 4th time that Audra called, officers were already at the bar, and on the 5th time, officers were actually speaking to her, records show. She's already talking to them. Yes, officers, there's just a problem here with the social distancing. I need to call the police about it. Hey, police, could you send somebody? Wait a minute, you guys are already here. That was quick. The officers were already there on 2 of the 5 calls she made to 911 to complain about social distancing. The owner of the bar said this Adams character was inside trying to kiss random strangers, and after multiple people complained about it, he asked her to leave. But she initially argued and refused until she eventually made her way out of the front door, according to the affidavit. Well, this is a problem from out the gate. You got very, very lax social distancing enforcement going on in Florida in general, and at a bar like this, after the woman tries to kiss one person, she should be thrown the hell out forever and ever, obviously, possibly arrested. I wouldn't be complaining about that. Yeah, get her out of here. But no, she tries to kiss a few, and they ask her to leave. Could you please leave? I mean, that's Florida for you, of course. A major confusing aspect of this entire thing is why she was complaining about the social distancing. She was complaining that there was social distancing. I don't understand why I have to remain 6 feet apart. I'm not. Come here, you kiss. I'm not remaining 6 feet apart. I'm going to kiss your face. Come here, you. Is that the part of the social distancing she complains about? Or is she complaining that there isn't enough social distancing and she's trying to test it with the kisses? Listen, 911, yeah, I just made out with 14 people because this bar is not enforcing social distancing. I've tried it. I did an experiment, and they've failed horribly. Could you please send somebody? And by the way, I think I have the virus right now. Could you also send an ambulance? Yeah. So I can't figure out what part of the social distancing she complains about, because neither of them make sense, really. Police say that Adams left the bar eventually, but refused to leave the parking lot even after she was told about the trespassing warnings, telling officers, "I'll sit in the parking lot all night." Why don't they just, throw her in the back of a car and take her away? I don't understand that. I mean, what she did was just so wrong on so many levels. She should be punished. I mean, clearly, an example needs to be made in the state of Florida that this isn't okay. When asked about why she called 911 so many times, Adams said the bar was not following health guidelines intended to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Yeah, and neither are you, Adams. You're not following guidelines, clearly. This woman is out of her mind. Police said Adams repeatedly tried to pull away as she was being escorted to the patrol vehicle. She was arrested on charges of trespassing, disorderly conduct, resisting an officer without violence, and misuse of a 911 system. Yeah, what about attempted murder and spread of a pandemic disease? What about that? What about that? I mean, I don't know if she has it, but I mean, she's obviously, she needs to be made an example of, in my opinion. And looking at the big picture, the state of Florida needs to be made an example of, I think. What they're doing down there is just so wrong. Protesters in Florida are calling for the gyms to reopen, and they do squats and push-ups outside a courthouse to protest. Yes, a large group of protesters gathered outside a Pinellas County courthouse on Monday. They were calling for gyms to reopen in the state of Florida. They were demanding it very aggressively, doing squats and jumping jacks. The gyms have been closed since Governor Ron DeSantis issued a statewide safer-at-home order last month to slow the spread of the coronavirus. The executive order expired when the state started the first phase of reopening last week, but Florida's gyms at this point aren't allowed to reopen until the state reaches phase 2 of the reopening plan. Well, yeah, well, bars are open, though, so why are the gyms closed? I mean, I understand that. Neither of them should really be open at this point, but people are singing karaoke but can't go to the gym. That makes no sense to me. You shouldn't be allowed to go to either of these places, by the way. Not now, but, this is Florida, so they're like, it's just the most ass-backwards place. A group of 20 to 30 people gathered outside the Pinellas County Courthouse in Clearwater to protest. They were calling for the gyms to reopen so that employees can get back to work and customers can return to the gym. The video shows the protesters holding signs and waving flags outside the courthouse during demonstration. And by the way, these people are in fantastic shape. It looks to me as though they've been working out just very diligently at home, and they don't need the gym to be open. Whatever they're doing is working at home, so I don't know what they're complaining about. They look like they might be the employees of the gym. Like they're all in just unified, tight gear, looking great. Maybe they're employees. If they're employees, I can understand the protest. They want to get back to work. I get it. If they're customers, they don't look like they need the gym at this point. If they showed up completely out of shape, they got Cheetos on their chest, they're very, very obese, and they can't make it up the stairs. If they're showing, in video that they can't do more than one push-up at all, then I'd be like, oh, these poor people, they probably do need the gym to reopen. But no, these people are in fantastic shape. It makes no sense. Waving the American flag. I love how they make this an American thing. Like, when's the last time you equated being in fantastic shape with Americans? We're like the most obese people on the planet at this point. Well, maybe that's why we need the gyms to open, because we are obese. Please open. We need it more than any other country. Yeah, but you just can't open right now, Florida. Don't you see what's going on here? You can't. It's too dangerous. You can't open the beaches right now. The bars should be closed. You guys are out of your mind for trying to open up everything. It's just not going to work. Of course, these protesters in the video, they're not wearing masks. They're not practicing any sort of social distancing. They don't give a crap about these things. They want to go somewhere and sweat all day and sweat on machines and get in showers and sweat. I mean, the ultimate body fluid location is like a gym. Am I right? I mean, well, perhaps, a urinal bathroom or something. But like the gym is just one of those places where if there's something spreading, you're going to get it, which is why it's so silly to open them up. And I understand why they were pushed into phase 2. But, these things all need to be pushed back, in my opinion. You have to make the adjustment and change your life, okay? And working out at home doesn't cost anything, You can work out at home. Clearly, these people have been in the video. They're in fantastic shape. They've probably been doing 1,000 squats a day in their living room. You can do that at home. It doesn't cost you anything, okay? You just have to practice a little self-discipline and wait it out for a few months until the gym's open. What is so difficult about that? Now, I'm also wondering if other protesters will get this creative. Like, will we see a bunch of people giving each other massages outside the courthouse, demanding that the massage parlors open up? Or, a bunch of people just rolling bowling balls down the sidewalk, demanding that the bowling alleys open up? I'm wondering. Or a bunch of people just cutting their own hair on the steps of City Hall, demanding that the hair salons open up. Come on, do it, Florida. Do it for me. Do it for us. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man.
It's Florida Friday, only on Weird AF News.
A Florida man dives into the Bass Pro Shop fish tank, posts the video on Facebook, and is now wanted by the deputies. A Florida man is a fish out of water and on the run from the law after he jumped into a Bass Pro Shop native fish tank on Sunday and posted the video to Facebook. Lee County Sheriff's deputies say they're looking for Daniel Armendariz, age 27, who faces a charge of trespassing and endangering some fish and wildlife. I saw the video. It's crazy. First of all, I didn't even know that Bass Pro Shops had a giant fish tank. Is this common? Or is that this one location? It's huge, by the way. It's absolutely enormous, this fish tank. Are customers allowed to fish from it to try out the equipment? I mean, how does this thing work? Is it just there for show, like a giant aquarium? The guy dives in, swims around, and jumps out. And there's customers in the store. You should watch the video. It's bizarre. No one seems to even really notice that he does it, really. No one's screaming. No one's... It just seems so matter-of-fact. And he does it so calmly and confidently. Deputies say that Armendariz can be seen in the video jumping over the fenced barrier at the chain's Estero location and diving headfirst into the aquarium. He lingers for a moment, swims to the surface, and then calmly exits the pool. He was then captured on surveillance cameras fleeing the shop and entering a silver sedan. Deputies say Daniel posted his video on Facebook with the caption, "Yep, well, would you look at that? Hashtag Florida check." What is this Florida check? This is a hashtag I have a feeling I need to follow and investigate because I'm probably going to be exposed to some insane Florida behavior. What is Florida check? Can anybody tell me this? This is insane. The Bass Pro Shop apparently had to spend $3,000 to decontaminate the water. Yeah. Armendariz has a history of arrests on charges of robbery, aggravated battery, and the sale and delivery of illegal drugs, of course. In other words, he's a Florida citizen, just a typical Floridian background we're looking at here. Yeah, aggravated battery, robbery, a little bit of drug sale, several DUIs, a couple restraining orders, typical Florida background. The authorities can't find him, though. They believe he is residing in the North Fort Myers area or in San Carlos Park. If you have information about the whereabouts of Armendariz, please call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-780-TIPS. That's 1-800-780-TIPS. I just wanted to pretend what it would be like to do a Crime Stoppers commercial. Ooh, they're offering a cash reward, the Bass Pro Shop. $3,000 for any helpful tips. Well, that'll help them pay for the decontamination fee. And just a question, why is the Bass Pro Shop open in Florida right now? That doesn't seem to be a place that we need to be open. That's not essential services, right? The Bass Pro Shop. Really? I would love a list of other just ridiculous Florida stores that are open right now, just unnecessary. I'll bet you if you go down to Florida, the Dart store is open right about now. I'll bet you. You know how sometimes you'll come across a Dart store and you're like, how the hell are Dart stores staying open? I just wonder how they stay open in general, business-wise. Who's going to the Dart store? I mean, are they really raking in the business? I will bet you there are so many sporting goods stores open in Florida. That's what's going on. As if sporting is necessary right now. I mean, listen, nobody wants sports more than me. I really want to play softball so badly, or basketball. But, I realize that that's not really necessary. I mean, it kind of is for my mental health, but, I'm trying to pick it up in other ways, and get my shit together. But in Florida, oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely they're open. I would be willing to bet that bridal shops are open in Florida. For real. I will bet you. Anybody live in Florida can corroborate or collaborate. What's the word I need right now? Public school, guys. Bear with me. Public school. Please call the show. 646-450-2012. I want to hear from my Floridians. If you like podcasts, check out Spotify. You can listen to all your favorite artists and podcasts in one place for free. You don't even need a premium account. Spotify has a huge selection of podcasts on every topic, including this one that you're listening to right now. And you can easily share what you're listening to with friends on Instagram as well. So download the Spotify app, search for your favorite podcast, and also make sure to follow Weird AF News and never miss an episode. Yes, download Spotify and make your life easier. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jonesy, the host of Weird AF News. I hope you enjoyed that Florida Friday episode. I hope you're having a lovely weekend. I want to thank everyone who sent me Florida stories leading up to the Florida Friday episode. It's so helpful and wonderful. I want to give some love to Annie Kim, a vocalist who's very talented, who recorded that little Florida transition that I put in there. You should check out her music on YouTube. She has a lot of videos. It's Annie Kim's Music, one word, Annie Kim's Music, and she's on Instagram and everywhere else as well. So shout out to Annie. Hope you're having a lovely weekend, and also want to give some major love, gratefulness to those of you who left me reviews on Amazon. A bunch of them came through. I'm going to read them to you. Allison wrote, refreshing addition to your podcast routine. Weird AF News is a podcast hosted by comedian Jonesy. The usual format includes 3 weird or strange stories from around the world, which he gives his take on. It's a humorous change of pace from your typical methodical and starched news podcasts/broadcasts. Other features you can look forward to are his Florida Fridays series, his regular shout-outs to his fans, and he will occasionally play some of his voicemails that he receives from listeners. I encourage you to give it a try. Wow, Allison, you're just an amazing writer. You should write for the show. Unbelievable. The Sills family wrote, 5 stars, Snickers is satisfying, funny, informative, wholesome, and should be on everyone's podcast list that is tired of the same news delivered in different packages. Relax, take a break from all the seriousness. Get weird AF. Jennifer wrote, funny. I love listening to Weird AF News. It is so funny. I listen to every episode. Even past episodes are great. It is amazing how many weirdos are out there. Ha ha ha. Wow, there's so many more. I'm going to get to them. I'll read the rest of them on Monday because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to give thanks to everybody who left me a review and reached out to me as well. You can take your Weird AF News loyalty to a whole new level by joining the Patreon. Check that out, patreon.com/weirdafnews, and consider supporting the show and getting access to some additional Weird AF related media, stories, bonus episodes, etc., etc. I posted something yesterday that I found very fascinating. Just a lot of weird stuff that I come across. But if that's not your bag, no problem. You can make a one-time PayPal donation if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee at funnyjones@gmail.com. That's also my email address where you can send me just about anything. A love note, some hate mail, whatever you're into. Follow me on Instagram at funnyjones. On Facebook, it's comedian Jonesy. And on Twitter, it's at funnyjones as well. I look forward to the weekend personally. I got a lot going on. I have a roommate moving in. I'm very excited. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, Jonesy needs help paying the bills, so we're doing what we can here. I moved at the very most inopportune moment. I had a lot of work lined up, and I was like, you know what? I'll be able to live alone. No, not happening. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite an adult, but yeah, this will just be a temporary thing, I think. But meanwhile, looking forward to that. That'll keep me busy. And yeah, so I'll let you know how that goes. And you guys be safe, okay? Call me if you have any questions or you just want to say hi. You got the number.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Jonesy. It's Michaela. Yeah, the mannequin thing. That is one sure way to keep me out of your restaurant because that sounds goddamn terrifying. I feel like they're just going to be staring at me the whole time I'm eating, and that's really going to make me, and I'm pretty sure literally everybody else, super uncomfortable. Anyway, have a good day.
Hey, Jonesy, it's Michael calling from Iowa City. I heard your story about the restaurant that is going to have mannequins sitting in the social distance seats. Instead of leaving them empty, they're going to have mannequins in there dressed in 1940s clothing, and the mannequins will be posed in such settings such as people being proposed to, people at business meetings, et cetera, et cetera. and they're doing that rather than leaving the seats empty. Talk about awkward. If these little vignettes that they're setting up in these seats that would normally be left empty are people that are dressed in 1940s era clothing, it makes me wonder if all of the mannequins are lily white. You know, are there any brown people, black people, people of color in these seats with the mannequins? Are the mannequins black or brown? And I wonder if, you said this was in the city of Washington, Virginia, I believe. Does this restaurant come with a sign complete on the front of the restaurant that says no blacks allowed? Or, come around to the back door and we'll feed you? Just makes me wonder, what this place is set up to be like. You're completely right. They should just leave the seats empty. I guess it's one way to handle the awkwardness of the seats being empty, but is it designed to give the place a look of it being busy and full and like it's a popular restaurant to anyone that might walk by, look through the windows or something? It's just really awkward, and I think it would be uncomfortable to the people inside. And they have said that, even the people that are at the tables are going to be getting served wine by the waiters. Now, I tell you, if I'm in there eating at that restaurant and I have to wait on my order because some mannequin is being served their wine and that's going to hold up my order being placed, I'm not going to go for it. Anyway, ridiculous. Just a sign that the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Just get over it and get on with it. First of all, half these places shouldn't be reopening because, the pandemic isn't over with. We're opening things back up too soon because the places that are already reopening, the number of cases is starting to creep back up, and we're just putting people at danger. But anyway, that's another